Catherine. Thank you. Well, there is heartbreak throughout the Bay Village community today. A high school lacrosse player has died after getting hurt during a game earlier this week. Catherine Huntley joining us live now in Bay Village. Catherine, it sounds like he was an incredible young man.
Yeah, by all accounts, Nicole, he certainly was. All day today, we've heard nothing but joy and enthusiasm that people say he just exuded. It's an absolutely tragic situation here after beloved sophomore lacrosse player Dylan Veselik died yesterday following an injury he sustained during a lacrosse game on Tuesday. And now the community of Bay Village is rallying together in memory and support of Dylan and his family. Lacrosse sticks stand outside of homes in Bay Village, a silent sign of support for Dylan Veselik and his family. Dylan died after a hit to the head during a lacrosse game this week. Dylan was a great kid. He was a teammate, and I think that's really important for us to note, that he wasn't about himself. He was really a team player. Father Dan Schlegel of Bay Village's St. Raphael's remembering Dylan fondly. He anointed Dylan in the hospital yesterday before he died. Our important part right now is to support and comfort and be with his family in the days ahead, and to figure out a way that each of us will honor Dylan in our own lives so that his memory stays in our hearts and stays in our thoughts forever. Schlegel remembers 16-year-old Dylan as joyful, enthusiastic, and a true leader who was on both the lacrosse and soccer teams. The Veselik family released a statement saying, in part, "We are deeply touched by the overwhelming support and kindness shown by our community and beyond. We ask that you continue to keep us in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time." Dylan's athletic director also spoke to who Dylan was, someone who was always smiling. He was kind, hardworking, and dedicated, consistently showing leadership, empathy, and a positive attitude both on the field and in the classroom. Dylan's enthusiasm, determination, and willingness to help others made him a role model for his peers. Now the tight-knit community is focusing on rallying around Dylan's family and all who loved and knew him. There's nothing that you can do to erase the hurt or the pain or the suffering, but remembering him and honoring him by living life as he lived it is the best way that we can continue on his memory. And definitely such an unimaginably tough situation here in the city of just 15,000 people. Anyone who would like to remember Dylan or support Dylan's family is welcome to come to a prayer service tonight at 7 p.m. at St. Raphael's. For now, live in Bay Village, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.